Alright, hi guys, this is Mrs. Scott. I apologize that I haven't had a chance to do a read aloud yet. I've just been all kinds of crazy busy, but I'm finally able to do a read aloud with you guys. So in light of it being spring, I picked a book that is one of my favorites that I usually read around springtime, and I would read to you guys if we were at school in the library. So I'm going to read it at home instead, and it's called When Spring Comes. This is actually by one of my favorite authors, Kevin Henkes, and we have a bunch of his books in the library. So if you want to check out his books next year when we are back in school, let me know and we can find some of these books for you guys. As you guys know, I always do an activity with my books in the library when we read. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about an activity that you guys can do at home after you listen to this book on our read aloud. So we'll talk about that here in just a minute. But this is called When Spring Comes. I thought this was a good book to read right now because it's springtime. It's been spring for a couple of weeks. So I want you guys to watch and look at the pictures during this story and see if you guys can find any of the pictures in this book that kind of goes along with things that we see right now that are going on that you kind of saw as winter changed over to spring. So this is called When Spring Comes by Kevin Henkes. Before spring comes, the trees look like black sticks against the sky. So if you guys noticed a few weeks ago when it was still cold and winter, the trees looked like this. They didn't have any leaves on them or flowers, and there might have even been some snow. But if you wait, spring will bring leaves and blossoms. It's kind of what we're starting to see right now is the pink and white flowers, and then they turn into the leaves. If you wait, spring will make the leftover mounds of snow smaller and smaller and smaller until suddenly they're gone. Did you guys build a snowman a couple weeks ago and we had a little bit of snow, and then if you notice the next day it started to get warmer and it melted away just like in our book. Before spring comes, the grass is brown, but if you wait, spring will turn it green and add little flowers. So when you go outside, you can kind of look at your grass and see, do you still have a lot of brown grass, or is it starting to turn green like our story? If you wait, an egg will become a bird. A seed will start growing, so we see more flowers, plants growing. Spring comes, sorry guys. Spring comes with sun, and it comes with rain. And more rain, and more rain. This is something we've had a lot of in the last couple of weeks, is a lot of rain. Do you like mud? Do you like puddles? I hope you like umbrellas. My little girl loves to jump in muddy puddles, so maybe you guys can do that one of these days we're home. Before spring comes, the garden is just dirt and empty. But if you wait, spring will push green shoots through the dirt to fill up the garden. So we actually have a garden here at my house. We're gonna try to grow some things like is in this picture. We've got some okra and some cucumbers. So maybe you guys are growing plants or flowers, or your parents are, and you can watch them go from the seeds into the flowers and things. And spring will call out the willows and new kittens too. Does anybody at home have a puppy or a kitten that you guys get to play with right now? Spring can come quickly or slowly. It changes its mind a lot, especially in Oklahoma, right? Where it's like really, really nice one day and the next day it's like 30 degrees. But when spring is finally here to stay, you will know it. There will be buds and bees and boots and bubbles. There will be worms and wings and wind and wheels. You will feel it, you will smell it, you will hear it. When spring is finally here to stay, you might think you are done waiting, but you are not. Because if you know what comes after spring, does anybody know the season that comes after spring? Now you have to wait for summer. All right, guys, so the activity that you can do along with this book that we would be doing in the library if we were in here is you can make your own book to go along with our book. So on the front, I put my When Spring Comes book. I drew a picture of what I love to do in the spring, so you could draw a picture of your favorite thing to do in the spring. I put in the spring, I like to sit outside and read. And then throughout the book, you can draw your own things that you see in the springtime. So remember, it talked about how the trees turn green and get flowers, so you can draw that. It talked about how snow starts to melt. Let's see. It talked about how the grass turns from brown to green and you start to see some flowers. Talked about how eggs turn into baby birds. Let's see, what else here? It talked about how seeds start growing into flowers. My little girl actually drew that one. And then how the sun comes out and it starts to rain. You can see she drew a picture of her playing in the rain. She likes to go out and play in the rain. Let's see, what else did we put in here that we see? We talked about how gardens grow, how you see flowers, kittens, and butterflies. And then the last thing, how it rains and you see people riding their bikes. So you can make your book as many pages as you want, or you can just do 1 or 2 pages if you want, but this is something you can make, and then you can read through it with your family to go along with the book that we read. So I hope that you guys enjoyed this, and I will be hopefully bringing you guys more books soon, okay? And we'll be reading, hopefully I'll be reading some of our Redbuds that we didn't get to at the end of the year. So be watching for those pretty soon. So I'll see you guys later. Bye.